My name is Yoel Silver, and you might be wondering, wow, it sure does look like you haven't seen the sun in over 6 months. That's because I'm so tired of the BS. Everything around me is turning out to be fake. Dan Bilzerian? I am this close from unfollowing him. Dude, so many of these videos have been popping up in my recommended talking about how he's actually a fraud. Yeah, man. Turns out he's not even all that cool, bro. Turns out he tricked us all. Like, for example, the man didn't even make his fortune playing poker. His rich daddy gave him the money. And that makes that whole self-made, bad boy, Hugh Heffner #2 fantasy lifestyle that he portrays on Instagram all BS, man. The women, he pays for them to be there. The other people all talking about him as if he did something with his life, they're all paid. So pretty much he's self-made because his daddy paid for it. Dan never worked for any of this. This is all fake. Oh no, my stomach. Yeah, I'm afraid it is. It's cringe. Oh, well, you know what that probably means, right? Today is a very special episode because we're gonna be checking out Dan Bilzerian talking out of his ass as if he accomplished anything in his life when he hasn't accomplished anything. So just in case you don't know who Dan Bilzerian is, don't worry, I'm gonna do a quick rundown. So Dan Bilzerian is the self-titled king of Instagram. He has a lot of followers on Instagram because he gets to party hardy with some beautiful looking models, shoot guns in a desert, pretty much do whatever he wants when he wants, like wear short shorts no matter where he goes, because who's stopping him? Not you, cause you're broke and he's rich. And Dan Bilzerian isn't just rich, okay? He's $50 million type of rich. And you might be wondering, wow, what did a man like him do to make $50 million? Well, he claims that he made the money playing poker, which is really funny because if you were to Google who made the most money playing poker ever, he seems to be in a league of his own because he's not even in the top 10. The top 10 players all seem to be topping at around $10 million, but for some weird reason, Dan Bilzerian was able to make $50 million because some dude in college taught him how to play and he got really good at it that way. So you would think that Dan Bilzerian would be on this list, but he's not at all. He should be #1 by leaps and bounds, but he's not. He's not on the list, man. Weird. So to me this symbolizes that he's lying because we also come to find out that Dan Bilzerian actually received a trust fund from his father, who accumulated the money with some fraud-like activities. And honestly, if I were to look up fraud in a dictionary, I'm pretty sure it would look exactly like this guy. And when I was in my really early 20s, Dan Bilzerian showed up out of nowhere, and my imbalanced 20-something-year-old brain thought that he was the coolest guy alive. Check out his Instagram. He's always hanging out with the bad baddies, bro, and drinking all that liquor, having a blast, having a good time. I want to be just like Dan Bilzerian. Now that I'm an adult, and I've made some money, and I've lost some money, and life has punched me in the face every day, I'm gonna have to give it to you, Dan. Touche. You really had me going. Like, I've never questioned it. I really thought you were this cool guy that made the money playing poker. Like, that's really what I thought. But you being this cool guy is all just a facade. None of this is real. But you are playing the character as if it is real. And you're showing your ass all over the internet. Like, for example, he has this interview that he did on London Real that does not need to exist because they only seem to interview self-made men, which he's not. His daddy gave him the money. Regardless, the stuff that he spews in this interview was just too good for me to let go.
Money and girls like a black hole.
The Dan Bilzerian phenomenon, 44 million people watching you.
Like, I feel like people don't live in the moment as much. People are so worried about capturing it on Instagram.
Well, I mean, yeah, Dan, like, some people don't have a trust fund coming to them worth $50 million from their dad. Some people actually have to work hard to do things. And they like to capture moments in real time and post it for all their friends to see. God forbid some people want to post a picture of what they're doing in a moment for their friends and family to see. Oh no!
This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Dan Bilzerian, the poker player, Instagram influencer, and founder of the cannabis and CBD company Ignite International. After being honorably discharged from the military, following a 4-year service and 2 Navy SEAL Hell Weeks, you attended the University of Florida where you spent time learning to gamble. This led you to become a professional poker player, winning over $50 million in a single year. Your popularity then skyrocketed as you documented your lavish lifestyle of opulence, sex, and partying with over 44 million people following you on social media. Today, you're the founder of the cannabis and CBD company Ignite and focused on building the most trusted brand in the industry. Dan, welcome to London Real.
Man, that was quite a hype.
Wow. Had this guy done any research at all, he would know that he didn't need to do the whole mouthful.
What do you like about the people here? What do you notice?
I don't know. I just feel like they're pretty authentic. LA people are pretty fake, so that's kind of nice. But I don't know. I mean, always been nice to me, always been cool.
He said that with his whole chest, that people in LA are fake. Maybe he should stay in LA because he seems to fit right in.
And what I found interesting was I told the girls, but it was the guys that actually I found some loved you and some hated you.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, I'd love to get your thoughts on 2 quotes from one of your favorite authors, Henry David Thoreau. Rather than love, than money, than fame, give me truth.
Yeah.
What do those quotes mean to you? Because in a weird way, it kind of defines who you are.
Yeah. Just kind of unapologetically myself, you know, I just...
Dan didn't even break a sweat. Had that been me, I would have turned into a blood red tomato and probably cracked instead of fumbling and pop my words. But Dan kept it cool, calm, and collective, dude. When he hit him with that "give me the truth" quote from his favorite author. You think this man reads? He doesn't read.
It's weird, like some of the, you know, negative press that I got me, you know, more popularity than, you know, some of the positive stuff, so.
Like what? The bear.
You know, throwing the, you know, Dan Bilzerian throws porn star off the roof, Dan Bilzerian arrested in, you know, LAX on federal bomb making charges,
Right.
You know, stuff like that.
So funny little story that he's trying to, you know, portray here is that he actually did throw a porn star off a roof. He claimed that he tried to throw her into a pool, but the thing is though, Dan has $50 million. So even though Dan tried to throw the porn star into the pool, he has $50 million. He didn't need to actually make her land in a pool. I mean, he has $50 million. And he missed the pool completely. Funny story. And then she had to go to the hospital. So, you know, she did something very reasonable and asked Dan to cover the hospital bills, which he just said, nah. So maybe that part's funny. I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, it seems like, you know, it's about just getting web clicks and not about, you know, reporting the news anymore.
And have you always been kind of unapologetic and just been you?
Yeah, I never really like wanted to have like a 9-to-5 or do like a conventional job. Just never appealed to me.
Bro, me either. And people who work 9-to-5s to survive, like, what are you guys doing? Being poor? Why would you be poor? Doesn't even make sense.
I don't know. I mean, I think like recently society has said certain things are okay and certain things are super bad that had been going on for like thousands of years. You know, not that long ago, if you won a battle, you would rape and pillage and you would steal stuff from the village, you'd have sex with all the women, and that was fine.
It's almost as if society has been getting better and better throughout the years. But go on.
And now, I mean, that would be, you know, crazy war crimes. And I just think in the last 100 years, things have just changed a lot. But I think it's more normal than people lead on.
Yeah, now they'll just be like, crazy war crimes, bro. For the love of God, is he like gonna justify those actions and saying that he's kind of doing that, but in a business savvy way? Is that where this is going?
I mean, if you look at, you know, in the animal kingdom, I mean, there's one stud animal that has sex with, you know, most of the, you know, females. In our society, it's actually, you know, that is actually what happens. It's just not necessarily broadcasted as much. It's not kind of put out there. But I think 5% of the guys have sex with like pretty much all the girls.
Come on, Dan, throw a dog a bone. I'd say it's personally like 20% of the guys have all the fun with the ladies. And that's only because like the other 80%, like they're at home playing Xbox, which is a lot more fun than getting with the ladies. So, what are you really trying to say? Because that was such a weird segue. Anyway, it's definitely not 5%. It's probably more like 20. Mister, look at my thighs, because I wear shorts everywhere that I go for a reason.
Do you think we'll see more like Dan Bilzerian type scenarios in the future where, you know, there's a guy and lots of women?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of people that are like trying to like copy what I'm doing. I mean, I'm in a very lucky situation. And I say lucky not because like I didn't work hard to get where I'm at, but because there's just definitely a degree in luck and, you know, super successful people. I mean, you have to be at the right time at the right place. You know, poker, for instance, like I got into poker at the right time, the right place. I put in the fucking hours. I mean, you know, the 10,000 hours theory, I logged my 10,000 hours. I paid my dues, playing 18 hours a day, fucking 6-7 days a week, pissing on the laptop while I'm playing 10 fucking tables at a time and, you know, doing all that.
Dude, he's just lying so much. He's out of control lying at this point, and he's still going on with this poker story, not letting it die, getting very detailed, when anybody with access to google.com can just look up how he really made the money.
I don't know, I think I have like 90-something people working for me, so, you know, I don't have to spend any time going grocery shopping. I don't make my bed, I don't wash my clothes, all the time that I spend is on business or hanging out with girls or hanging out with friends or traveling or doing things that I want to do. So I really don't spend any time doing things that I don't want to do. I would say that I've lived like 10 lifetimes at least.
I mean, you heard him. He lived like 10 lifetimes because he doesn't do his bed. So the secret to life is just don't do your bed. Because you just don't got time for that shit. And not get a $50 million trust fund from your father. Like, now that we know that he's not self-made, everything that he says is hilarious. And his Instagram must be hilarious now that the bubble is popped, now that we know that he's not a self-made man. So let's scroll through his Instagram, just because I want to have a laugh. Here's a picture of Dan Bilzerian playing chess with stacks of money all around him while being on the phone, probably making big boss money moves. And then we just gotta remind ourselves, wait a minute. His dad left him that money. He's not making any boss moves at all. In this picture, you see Dan Bilzerian surrounded by models as if he did anything to have that many women following him. You didn't do anything, bro. Your dad gave you $50 million. In this picture, he had the chutzpah to caption it, much happier without a phone. It's a picture of him at a big table surrounded by beautiful women, as if I don't want to be there or something. I am well aware that by now, I probably look like a snot-nosed hater to a lot of people that are Dan Bilzerian fans regardless, because I'm over here pretending as if my father would have gave me $50 million, I wouldn't be doing exactly what he's doing. Of course I would. But here's the thing though. My father never gave me $50 million. But you know what's one thing that I've never done that Dan Bilzerian has done? What's one thing that I have over him? I have never lost $50 million in revenue in my company, thus making me a horrible business owner. So in case you don't know, Dan Bilzerian also has a company called Ignite, and he lost over $50 million in revenue to that company. But here's the really smart thing though, because Dan Blizzy here, even though he might seem like he's dumb, he's really not dumb at all. All of the money lost wasn't even his money. It was his investors' money. Genius move, because he's not risking anything. If you really think about it, the only thing he's risking is his reputation. Because check out this video of him giving a tour of his house that his company claims that they pay over $200,000 a month in rent for. And just to make it more embarrassing, the person that he's giving the house tour to is none other than business investor and Shark Tank host Kevin O'Leary.
I've been inside some of the most incredible mansions in LA, but this 31,000 square foot behemoth in Bel Air is one of the most outrageous homes I've ever been invited to see.
A little Jew can only dream of one day owning something like this. Please buy my merch.
This is the home of the infamous Instagrammer, Dan Bilzerian. He reportedly paid a mind-boggling $65 million for this mega mansion.
No, he didn't. His company that he owns claims that they pay $200,000 a month for it.
I'm dying to see this place and find out how a guy who appears to party for a living can afford it all.
Dan, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
This house is a joke, man. It's too big.
The funny thing about Kevin O'Leary is that he's French-Canadian.
This is a bowling alley here. You never know what you're gonna get. Today it's bowling and heels.
Oh, look at that.
There it is.
I mean, don't get me wrong, bowling is cool, but is bowling cool enough to actually install a bowling alley in your own house? Not really. So that's why I never understood people that actually do this. And actually thinking about it, I've never really met anybody that has a bowling alley in their house, so I guess it's not that common.
How many bars?
Got 7 bars.
And he uses all of them. This crazy chicken had 3,000 people at his last party.
3,000 people, Dan? Why? Just why, bro? That's just an obnoxious amount of people. Do you even know 3,000 people?
Dan says he made $50 million playing high-stakes poker. So when I spot his card table, that seems like a perfect place to ask Dan how he can afford this lifestyle most people only dream of.
Damn. That's a nice poker table. Too bad he didn't make the money playing poker, though.
Dan, is poker your primary income now, or have you diversified?
I got to a point where if I won, I was happy, but I didn't really care that much. And if I lost, I was like really irritated. It was time to move on to something else.
What type of response is that? You were irritated when you lost money? Damn, bro. I hate losing money too. Seems to me like we have a lot in common. The funny thing though is that like, you've never made the money playing poker.
Will Dan really be able to parlay his 27 million Instagram followers into both a billion-dollar cannabis company and the White House? Or are those just pipe dreams that will go up in smoke? Who knows? But one thing's for sure. Watching him try will be very entertaining.
Entertaining? I have to agree, Kevin O'Leary, because the funny thing is though, he got evicted out of this $65 million mansion that he owns, that he has to pay $200,000 a month in rent for, because he made the money playing poker. So that's really funny if you ask me. And for the longest, guys like me were fooled by this man, thinking he was really living that life. He wasn't, at all. Fortunately, I'm gonna have to do the unthinkable, man. I'm really gonna have to unfollow. It's been fun, my friend. But I can't keep going with this. So I feel like that took a lot off of my chest. You know what? Maybe Dan Bilzerian isn't even all that bad, right? Maybe there's somebody that's a bigger douche than him out there. But unfortunately, unless God himself somehow opens up a portal in front of me and hands me a letter with that person's name, I'm stumped, man.